back to the Walking with Wanzuuu podcast. I'm your host, Yvette Wanzuuu. How are you? How have you been? How has life been treating you? It's been treating you good? Tough times? Sending you hugs and love nonetheless. This is a safe space that I have created for us to be able to talk about all things life, and I draw from my own personal life experiences, some of the good, the bad, and some of the very laughable ones. This is me just giving you a tiny little sneak peek of what goes on in my head and in my heart, if you will. Thank you so much for tuning in. Happy listening. Hi guys, how are you? Have you been doing? Welcome back to the podcast. My good name is Wanzuuu. I'm your host for the Walking with Wanzuuu podcast. Before I get started, I just want to say, guys, truly from the bottom of my heart, I am so grateful for you people just taking time to be able to come on this platform and indulge me, listen to me speak, talk about my experiences, talk about my opinions on different issues. And I'm just grateful. I genuinely am grateful for you being here. And if I don't tell you enough, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Sending you so many virtual hugs and so much love and so many kisses. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. God bless you. Love you, mean it. And let's get into it. It's been a good week. Last week was a good week. Even this week, I started off on such a good note. It's Monday evening as we speak. It's actually October the 30th. One more day to end of October. October has been kind to me. Um, it's been kind for the most part. Yeah, I can just sense myself getting into a good mental space. I don't want to talk too much about it. I don't want to jinx it, but I can just tell you that there's I'm transitioning into a better space, and I love that for me. Love that for you as well, because who wants to have a host who's always just going through it. I had something one time, and I'll share those thoughts with you before I get into the episode. You know what a lifeline normally looks like? Like when you have a child, like when you're pregnant or someone who's expecting, and they go into the doctor's office and they're trying to get the heartbeat, or even just the heartbeat of a normal person, perhaps if they're in ICU or you're in a space where someone's heartbeat is being recorded. It normally looks ordinarily like a zigzag line, right? So up, down, up, down, up, down. And even when the highs and the lows are not too far apart, it's still up, down, up, down, up, down. That's your lifeline, right? And that's just how life is. Imagine there are ups and there are downs. And when it goes flat, when the lifeline normally goes flat, that means what? That means that the person has died, right? That means the journey has come to an end. And so life consists of highs and lows. And that's just how life is. And in all things, the concept is this too shall pass. You're having a good time, this too shall pass. You're having a bad time, this too shall pass. But the beauty is the good times will come, the bad times will come, but they'll yo yo. And that's the beauty of life. And the only thing that you have control over is how you respond. And so I hope that God gives you the grace to get through the hard times, and I hope he gives you also enough joy in your heart and enough peace to embrace the good times. Yeah, imagine that's just how life is, and I'm in a season where I'm experiencing a lot of healing, a lot of joy, a lot of calmness, a lot of peace, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful, really. I'm grateful. How about you? Who's listening to this? How are you? How have you been? 2 more months to go, and then 2023 is a wrap. How are you feeling? Are you feeling pressure? Were you starting this year saying, this is the year, let me tell you, I'm going to find my someone, I'm going to settle down, I'm going to get married, I'm going to be in a nice long-term relationship, I'm going to find my person. And now it's October and you're hearing crickets in the background. Or it's October and you just got your heart broken, a good one. Honey, I'm sending you love and vibes. And I'm just telling you that don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. The beautiful thing about God is, or just life generally, is when you surrender the need to want to control events, that's when things start working out in your favor. And so I don't know what goal you had put for yourself, I don't know what it is that you're feeling. Oh man, I didn't accomplish that, but I really wanted to do that. And you're feeling like it's putting you in a state. Man, I just want to tell you that the fact that you have survived 2023 up to this point, let me tell you, you deserve a pop of confetti every time we leave bed. If you're just waking up to all this strict global warming, the weather just behaving the way it wants, fuel prices, it's just chaos. If you are managing to power through all of that, if all you genuinely did this year was survive, big up to you. Sending you so much love and vibes and all the hugs that I can possibly send your way. Thank you for being here. Thank you for holding on. Thank you for fighting. Thank you for powering through. If this is the year where you started a venture, I don't know what it is. Maybe there was one thing that you are really looking at and you've been sussing out, and or there's some ideas that have been playing in your head, and you finally managed to take small steps or even a huge step to implement them. Kudos to you. I see you. I celebrate you. It can only get bigger and better and better and better and better and even more better. So more power to you, more strength, more love, and all that good stuff. So if my voice sounds a bit off, I'm fighting off a cold, but nobody can stop reggae. This is my happy place, honestly, sipping my cup of lemon tea, just sitting here winding down. I've put my little lady to bed. I've taken a nice long hot shower. And speaking to you guys, this is one of my favorite things to do. And so, fighting a cold notwithstanding, we shall record this, okay? So I've been good. Work was quite busy today. Mondays are usually very slow days for me at work, but today just started on a very, just go pace. It was very busy for the better part of the morning and even leading into the afternoon. I'm glad I managed to sneak out some time to go and just have my lunch and then come back. But it's been a busy start to the week. It's been quite a busy start to the week. Um, I know I said earlier that I'm feeling peaceful, but there's also a lot that has been going on, especially on the internet, that has been making me really feel some type of way. Um, the war that's going on between Israel and Palestine. Um, Man, I feel I I cannot even put into words just how incredibly heartbroken the events that are going on there are. I saw a video today, and I'm just going to put out a disclaimer and a trigger warning. The next couple of minutes, the few things that I'm going to be highlighting that I have been seeing for the on the internet for the better part of the weekend and even last week could be a bit triggering. So if you feel like that's something you don't want to hear, you might want to forward this particular segment and then maybe catch me on 3 minutes later. Um, yeah, so I was saying I saw a video today of infants, young babies. I want to say from age maybe 2 to about 8, at 8 years, 8, 7, and they were being laid on the bonnet, on top of the bonnet of a car. There were about five children, and they had all passed on. I could see as a result of the bombings and everything that's going on there. Man, it's crazy. It's crazy. I know with everything that's going on, it's very little that we can do, but if you can share and just try and put out as much information out there about what's going on in Palestine. If I know there are numbers of donations, of places that you can make donations, and I just want to say that when it comes to donating to help a cause, nothing is ever too little. So you have 1 shilling or you have 5 shillings. What happens when 1 million people send 1 shilling? That's a million bob. That could go a long way. And so nothing is ever too little. It's the intention, it's the cause, it's the thought that counts. Give whatever you can, however much you can. And man, let's pray. Let's pray. I don't know why things that are going on are really giving end time energy. It's giving end times. And I'm so black people have been accused of always saying, man, we're living in the last days. But with everything that's going on, it's really giving last day vibes. And man, it was incredibly heartbreaking to just see that, for me, I always feel like children are so innocent, so helpless and such pure beings, and seeing that they too are losing their lives and there's not a lot being done around the issue, really broke my heart. Truly, 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 truly broke my heart. And so, I'm just, my prayers really go out to the people in Palestine. Another thing that caught my attention that I have seen is a conversation that's ongoing, and I was even doing a bit of research into it, was the Congo issue. Congo is a country in Africa. I know it borders Kenya to the south. I don't know if it's to the south or to the, for fear of not of sounding ignorant, let me just check that real quick. So Congo, yes, I was right. Congo is borders Kenya to the it's right after, it's actually to the side, right? So east, west, to the west. So there's Uganda, and then there's Rwanda and Burundi, and then Congo is on the west. But Congo is a huge country, and so if you go down even to Tanzania, it still borders. They share a border with Congo, Zambia, there's Angola there. There's the Central African Republic, there's Southern Sudan, and there's a lot. There's a lot that has been like Congo hasn't had peace for the longest time. In fact, I remember being a child, even growing up, the people who came from Congo that I knew, who, first of all, can I just say, are one of the most talented people I have ever come across in my life. Whether it's a fashion sense, whether it's the music that comes from there, whether it's just the soul and the vibe that they carry. Ah, man, such incredible people, truly, really and truly incredible people. Um, the people that I knew who came from Congo were always fleeing the war and the instability that was in the country. And I think what broke my heart was to hear the stories of the women who, have been defiled sexually and have just been traumatized in ways that I cannot even get into detail about. But if you're on social media, or if you have the internet, it's 2023, guys, I would really encourage you to go on there and use your voice in whatever small way you can to be able to share what's going on there, and also just keep them in your prayers, man. I hope there's an air of a very strange awakening that's happening to the African continent. I think we are starting to be very aware of we call it in Kiswahili ukoloni mamboleo. Like it's a new age colonialism that we are experiencing, but we're starting to be more aware of it and the effects, and even things that were done in the dark are now coming to light, and people, like we're Africans, we're starting to be aware of the power that we hold. We're starting to be aware of the resources that we hold, and I think that's a good thing. And so as we try and figure out what's going on in Congo, and just even Africa at large, and even the instability in Sudan, it's incredibly heartbreaking to see that some of the richest countries in Africa, like the amount of minerals rather that come out of Congo, the oil that's in Sudan, it's these areas that are incredibly rich with so many things that we could benefit from as a continent, and even they could benefit from as a country, lack they don't have any form of stability. And I think that's very interesting, and it's something that has been going on for the longest time. But the fact that Africans are aware of it, and they're becoming aware of it, they're trying to figure out, okay, so where what's amiss, where's the issue, how do we solve it? I think that's a good thing. And I just hope that by the time, because so many lives have been lost. I mean, hundreds of thousands of lives have been lost. So many um, tragedies have happened, really. A lot of unspoken stories, and it's incredibly unfortunate. One thing that I don't take for granted is that Kenya is a very peaceful country, right? And so I never want to look at war-torn countries as, oh my, that's too bad for them, because imagine, it could be you, it could be you. And so, man, I hope it gets better. I hope we all work towards finding a solution. but it's giving the last couple of days for me have just really made me also a bit scared, to be honest, because it's giving World War III. I don't know, it's giving World War III, and I'm just I could only pray that things will be okay. Things will be okay. I know that it's always darkest before dawn, and so revolutions don't come easy. They come with a lot of change, a lot of pain, a lot of revolution comes with a lot. Sometimes lives are lost. Sometimes there's pain, there's trauma that comes as a result of it. And I can only hope that even if some of us will be caught up in all of that, that in the end we come out having achieved whatever it is that we were trying to achieve. And it just gets better for us, for our kids, for our grandchildren. I think something that I don't say enough is also that it's a very scary time for me as a parent. I'm just like, I look around me and I think, where, what world is this that I have brought my child into? And is it okay? Like, I feel like I want to take her back and just protect her. It's a scary time. It's a scary time, but God is with us. All things work for good for those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. And the church said, Amen. Yeah, but it's heavy. It's heavy. It's heavy. So it's been a few months now. I don't want to toot my horn, but I want to talk to you guys about something that I've been trying out and hear your thoughts as well. So widely, Kenya is a drinking nation. Okay, first of all, we're the home of Tusker. If you're born and raised Kenyan and you've never even had a sip of Tusker, I'm sorry, who are you? And how can we support you? Tusker is beer. It's a very common beer that's normally brewed and made here in Kenya. It's one of the things that we really pride ourselves in. And so Kenya has a very huge drinking culture, right? It can be a good thing and it can also be a bad thing. It becomes a bad thing when alcohol becomes a crutch for you, or when you use alcohol to escape certain things. Now, I don't want to talk about matters around alcohol and alcoholism and the intake of alcohol from a very light space. I just want to talk about it from my own personal perspective, right? I've seen alcohol growing up for the longest time. I know my mom had me when she was pretty young, and so during her heydays, of course, she would go out with her friends and she would drink. I've also known alcohol to be, something that some people in my family have struggled with, as far as alcoholism, and also just trying to not abuse the substance as well. And I've also seen, people act different when they're inebriated, or should we say drunk. And so growing up, of course, there were very few isolated instances, even in high school, where I would say after finishing high school, where I would, drink. Maybe you've gone to a party here, or you're hanging out with friends there. So a glass of wine here and there, some vodka here and there, and then leading up to my late 20s, when I became an avid gin drinker, and my love for gin goes deep. It runs really deep. And so now I got to a point where, I started knowing what I like, what my preference is as far as alcohol is concerned. I started developing drinking hygiene. The don't drink and drive, the always have some extra money on the side. They always know and have someone around you that you can trust. When you go out drinking, just precautionary measures, I would say, as far as drinking, and just making sure you're safe, especially if it involves going out and all of that. And so over time, I started to notice that um, drinking for me used to give me certain things. I'll tell you the first one. generally I'm a very socially awkward person. That's not to be misconstrued by saying that I cannot gel or blend well with people. I can have general conversations. I can keep it cute, but it takes me getting comfortable with someone to a certain level for you to be able to get to know me better, right? Um, and so I realized that sometimes I would go into a setting and it's just like after a glass or two of gin, now I'm comfortable. Now I can talk. Now I can share my views. So something about taking alcohol made me feel like now I can let loose a bit. Now I can, it's like something about it used to lower my inhibition or help me give zero blips. And then now I feel like okay, now I can, it gives me a certain level of audacity, of course not the same audacity that Luo men walk around on this earth with, but somewhat like a quarter of the kind of audacity that they carry. Yeah. And I just noticed that in a setup I would always feel like alcohol made me more fun, more easy, more less guarded. I know of instances where I would use liquid courage to like try and speak my mind or do certain things. I know of times even when I came home from work and it's been an exhausting day at work. Of course, it's been a long day of parenting. And I feel, yeah, so if I'm going to help my child do her homework, then I definitely need a glass of wine. So that will help me wind down. It will take the pressure off a bit, and I can be more easy even as I coach her or I tutor her and I tell her, okay, this is not how you do this. This is how you. It's like it makes me more calm and less irate, and that started to become a point of concern for me. Another thing is, I don't know if it's because I'm a creative, but also because of the amount of things that I juggle generally, the amount of responsibilities that I have, and just how my life is structured. A lot of times I tend to struggle with anxiety, but also because I'm at a point where, and I'm not even trying to feel woye about it. It's just that the way my life is structured, I'm generally always constantly making decisions. I'm a single mom, for those of you who do not know, and a single, parent as well, a single lady. And shoot your shot, you never know. Kidding. Um, so the way my life is structured, I'm constantly making choices. The nature of my job is that I work in admin and management, and so sometimes certain decisions, like I'm required to make certain decisions that involve work, and so there's a lot of decision making and information gathering that my job involves. And then also when I come home, there's a lot of decision making that is involved, like, so what's the budget, what are we cooking, what needs to be done. I look at the home, I'm just like, is it running well? I have to give instruction because I'm the end all and be all. It's me who provides, it's me who's the primary and sole caregiver of my child. It's me who also gives instruction to the nanny. And so, like, the structure around which my life is in requires me to make a lot of do a lot of decision making that's generally just for me, like a lot of solo decision making where I rarely have someone to be like, hey, so I was thinking we could do this. There's no we, it's just me and Jesus. Hello. Yeah, so sometimes that can be a bit overwhelming, and sometimes I feel like my brain is too loud and it's constantly giving me ideas and trying to think, oh man, so there's this problem, how do I solve this? And so I always used to think, okay, so I can quiet it down, so I can feel less tense, so I can feel less anxious. Perhaps I need to take a glass or two of gin before I sleep, a glass or a few shots of this or a few glasses of this before I sleep. And so it started to slowly become that go-to thing for me that would help me be calm, or that would just shut my mind up, or would just help me fall asleep easily. Um, and I thought, okay, so if I'm quote unquote somehow kind of running away from my thoughts, then perhaps this is something that I need to try and eliminate and see what it feels like being without it. And so I took a conscious decision to stop drinking for a hot minute. And it's been a few months now. The better part of September and October, no alcohol whatsoever. Actually, wait, I lie. It's one time I went to a birthday party and I had like a beer or two, again, and it's just that issue for, okay, now I'm in a social setting, I'm feeling a lot of social anxiety. I know very few people here. There's a friend of mine who came through afterwards, but she wasn't there at the time when I came in, and so I just felt, okay, you know what, I'm not even going to try and drink like soda or anything. Let me get like a beer so I can feel, I can just chill. And for me, and this is not even flexy. I'm not even so proud when I say this, but I take a lot of hard liquor, and so for me, beer is always classified as maybe orange juice or apple juice. It just feels like I'm taking juice with a bit of alcohol. Does that make sense? And so even in that moment, I was just feeling like, yeah, this is the I'm not drinking drink that I can drink in this moment, but still feel like, okay, I'm drinking a bit. Yeah, and so I had that. And then of course, I went home later on in the night because I wasn't trying to drink some more, and I wanted to turn in early and just get some rest. Um, so I've realized over time that now I get to sit in my thoughts more. I get to sit in my feelings more. And so as a result, I'm forced to process, but also feel some of the things that I would use alcohol to escape, right? So if I'm in a social setting and I'm feeling socially awkward, I just sit in that awkwardness. If I'm at home and I'm feeling a bit stressed, a bit anxious, a bit tense, a bit overwhelmed, I sit in that overwhelmingness, that overwhelmed feeling. I sit in that anxiety. I sit in that uncertainty. And so, what I have been forced to do is to process my emotions, but also to develop positive and good ways of dealing. Yeah, like positive mechanisms of dealing with whatever negative emotions or things that I may be struggling with or grappling with. And so far it's been rough. The first couple of weeks are rough, but I think I'm slowly getting the hang of it. Of course, now the only issue will be navigating setups where I'm in I'm in a social setting and everyone is drinking and they're like, no, Wanzo, can we get you some gin? Can we get you a little bit of something to as we pass time? And I'll turning it down and be like, yo, no guys, I don't want to take that. Like I'll have some tea or I'll have some juice or I'll have this or I'll have that. Um, yeah, so just being able to turn it down and say, no, I'm not going to drink that. Like, I'll have something else that doesn't involve alcohol. And the thing that even prompted this conversation was earlier on today, I got a text from a friend and they were telling me, yo, I would really love to do something special for you. And I remember there was this one time, he told me that you really love wine, and so I wanted to ask, what type of wine do you like, so I can know, if and when I'm ready to surprise you with what brand. And I told them, you know what, I stopped drinking, yeah, but any other beverage that does not involve alcohol, me, I'm happy to have. So, surprise me in whatever best way possible. And that was huge for me because who turns down a bottle of wine? Kwanza in this economy. Kwanza in this economy. Any excuse to not have you buy your own liquor. But that was me. And so I just want to prompt you and ask you, why do you drink? This is in no way, shape, or form to discourage you from drinking. It's just to ask you, could you have been drinking for the same reasons that I was? And perhaps do you feel like it's time that you would put a pause on it? Perhaps not even stop, just put a pause on it and try and see, okay, so if I'm sober and I sit in my feelings and I sit in my emotions and try and figure out or picture what it is that's going on with me, and try and handle my own issues outside of alcohol, what would that look like for me? And I'm not oblivious to the pressure that comes around drinking, especially social drinking, or even just drinking to be able to calm yourself and to calm your nerves. It's working for me so far, so good. I don't know about you. I just thought I'd put this out there and and talk about it. Let me know if you'd like me to unpack this conversation with someone else. Reach out to me on the socials as well. Let me know if you would want to unpack this conversation further. Meanwhile, I will be loving you and living you. I love you and live you. But I will see you soon on the next episode. See you on the other side, which will be November. And November is going to be an exciting month, guys. I have so many special things planned. Sending you love and hugs wherever it is that you are. I will see you soon. Bye. Thank you for being here. Love you, mean it. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in. What's some of the things that we discussed on today's episode that you really resonated with? Perhaps you even have a similar story or something that really tickled you. I would love to get your feedback. You can find me on Instagram at the Walking with Wanzuuu podcast. You can also find me on Gmail. You can write me an email, tewanzuuu@gmail.com. Better yet, you can leave a note if you're listening on Spotify or any other streaming platform and let me know whatever spoke to you during this particular episode. Life is too hard to go through it alone. Let's just do life together. Until next time, bye-bye.